We are live everywhere. That's it. We're good to go. We're good to go. So, hi everyone. If it's a morning, good morning, or great time of day for everyone. Enjoy your live trading room with Lachlan today with Douro Academy. As usual, European market trade. Enjoy. Listen to what he has to say. He's pretty wise. He knows what he's talking about. So.
Appreciate
So have fun, enjoy, and I'll be back towards the end. I'll say hello and happy trading meanwhile.
Perfect. Thank you, Alan. That's awesome. So thank you, TTP, once again. As I'll share the screen. Make sure that we are rocking and rolling in the right direction. So that will just flick around at this point in time. Let me grab the chat. So guys, my name's Lockie. I'm going to be taking you through the session today. Now, guys, I'm just going to give you chat privileges so you can chat to each other if you would like. Guys, I would love to get a sound check. Right, that looks like our sound's working perfectly, which is fantastic. So that's a good start. Guys, let me just do this. I'm going to grab a microphone as well. Young Ahmed in Sydney, your microphone is on, so you're ready to rock and roll.
Hi, Mike.
So
How are you? Thank you very much.
good. Sound is good. Fantastic. So hi, everybody. Hope you're amazing wherever you are in the world. We've made sure the microphone is set up correctly. Now, there's a running or standing joke for those that have not been in the session before. Murphy, how are you? Fantastic. Maddie Twee, how are you? Hope you're awesome. So guys, quite often as I prepare, it takes about an hour to prepare for this session. By the time I look at news that's going on around the world and put your Fibonacci's in place and do sort of smaller chart, larger chart sort of analysis. So quite often I listen to music. The problem is if you don't turn those surround sound speakers off when you come in to run a session like this, quite often the speakers want to take over from the microphones and it all turns to clag. So I have turned my music off early today, guys and girls, to make sure that we don't have a problem. It looks like it's worked really, really well. So as I said, my name is Lockie. I'm going to be running the session for you today. Guys, I'm going to introduce you to what we're going to be doing, talk about chart layout and similar things. I'm just analyzing your news. As obviously, we're off the back of a federal funds rate announcement in the US. So for those of you that are just getting out of bed, guys, if you've missed that announcement, the US dropped their interest rates by 0.5%. Now, ironically, that's been interpreted by the global financial markets as positive. It was meant to be a negative, but it is positive. So I would suggest today we're going to be chasing quite happily, guys and girls. I think we're going to be chasing 20,000 on the NASDAQ. So as I said in our last session, guys, or a couple of sessions ago, I do think the markets are going to rally back towards record highs. That is, guys, I wouldn't say it's a fundamental thing. I simply think the closer we get to the US election, the more the markets are going to move to the high side. Now, in terms of news today, we do have a couple of European news announcements that are running through the session today. However, none of them are of high impact. I'm just reading those news announcements in the background for you. So no high impact news today, guys and girls, which is really good. What it ultimately means is we're going to be running a technical day. So that means the pivots and the Fibonacci are going to be winning the day. All right. So we'll get to that in a second. So hello, everybody. Guys, I would love to know, as I'm in Japan today. I would love to know who is the furthest away from Japan. There'll be a bit of a competition. We've clearly got a ton of people from Europe and Australia. So you guys are kind of, I don't know, probably equidistant. I'm not 100% sure. But guys, it'd be lovely to find out who's the furthest away from Japan. I think that would be good fun. Boston, Ravi, you're going to get very close to winning that one, mate. You're going to get Boston. That's it. In fact, interesting point for those of you, Ravi, you're in Boston. We're about to embark on a US close trading room. Well, that would be my plan. And again, it's US close is one of the most popular trading sessions in the world. So we did a trial on that recently. It went very, very well. So there's lots of work going on in the background to try and get that back up and ropping along. Rob, you're in the UK. Fantastic. So guys and girls, I'm going to get started. I've got a whole lot of stuff to go through today, and then we'll run through the slides first, and then obviously a lot of stuff I do need to cover before we get into the live charts. I'm expecting the markets to buy quite heavily today, guys. I mean, so there's going to be some, some really, really good buying opportunity, which will be awesome. So, guys, in terms of the LTR trial, what are we doing today? We're running a trial, guys, basically in cahoots with young TTP. So the beauty of that, guys and girls, because we are across multiple jurisdictions, including Australia and the UK, kind of some of the strictest compliance in the world, I do have to run through a couple of what we call CCNs, or customer caution notices. All right. So first and foremost, as some of you are trading futures today, others are trading CFDs, just be aware that both of those control, I should say control, we are risk controllers. You can probably tell the webinar's live. As both of those involve risk. So what we've got to be careful of, guys, today, we're going to be professional risk controllers. That's it. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. If you get very, very good at risk control, generally profit comes naturally, guys. So we'll work on that. Now today, because we are trading on margin, guys, what does that ultimately mean? We borrow a little bit of money every time we take a trade. What does that mean? It ultimately means that we can make money very quickly. We can also lose money quite quickly. As a result, we are professional risk controllers. Full stop. Now, further to that, guys, everything I'm going to do tonight is general information only, and also the past performance of any product, guys, can no longer be used as an indication of future performance. We were allowed to do this, guys, when I first started in futures trading in the 1st of August 2007. Guys, 2007, we were allowed to use past performance. We're not allowed to anymore. Guys, basically, our performance is measured on a daily basis, which is actually kind of exciting. Kind of exciting. Now, that being said, guys, there are market factors so this is a huge risk warning, this one. But at the end of the day, guys and girls, there are market factors that are going to be impacting what we do today. Some of you are on fast internet connections, others on slow. Some of you are on different data feeds and similar things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to give you the entry price. I'll give you the target price. For those of you that haven't been in this session before, I will be very, very key on what we call an RCP, or a risk control point. Now, again, I'll explain when we get into it what it means. But generally speaking, guys, if the volatility is low, we're going to use an early risk control point, and we're going to let our profits run. Okay, so we're going to try and engineer every trade we take, guys, to a risk to reward ratio that's probably 5 to 10 times in our favor. That's going to occur if we get a signal very, very early on in the hour, or we get a signal on the turn of the hour. Okay, so either way, we're going to be talking that. We use a couple of concepts as well as we roll along. So ultimately, for those also, guys, this warning's about for those of you who are currently funded through TTP, or you're going through the funding process, guys, ultimately, at the end of the day, there are variables and factors out there in the market we cannot control, such as internet speed and all of that kind of stuff. So I'll do my best, guys. Tim, how are you? Hope you're brilliant. I'll do my best to give you the correct entry, correct exit, all this kind of stuff. Very easy to do as a futures trader. The flip side of that, guys, there are risks out there, and we need to make sure that we take those into account. Now, who am I, guys? I'm affectionately known as Lockie. Let me just turn my phone off. It's dinging at me. So I was affectionately known as Lockie. I'm the head coach at Douro. I'm a passionate trader, have been for a very long time. Guys, long story short, I discovered futures trading on the 1st of August 2007. Yes, it does, Ash. That is a slightly older photo. Does it show, Ash? I only had that photo taken yesterday. Sure. So, no. So, guys, that photo, that actually, just so you know, that photo was taken just prior to meeting Donald Trump. Okay, just prior to meeting Donald Trump. And again, some people hate him, other people love him. There's some people that sit on the fence. Some people don't know who he is. Suffice to say, I've worked with Donald Trump privately. He's actually quite a nice person in my personal interaction with him. But anyway, that's a separate topic. Guys, 1st of August 2007, I discovered futures trading. Basically, that was straight after I left the army. I was a Forex trader at the time, guys, so I was literally looking to transition out of the army to be a full-time Forex trader. As I was also trading CFDs, I went to be trained at a bank in Australia. I found out the truth about futures versus Forex, and I stopped trading Forex instantly. So much so, I wrote a book on it called Forex versus Futures, The Global Deception Continues. And last time I checked, guys, there's been about 12,000 downloads on that book, which technically makes it an international bestseller, which is kind of exciting, I suppose. Kind of exciting. Now, guys, a quick revision. What are we going to be doing today? So ultimately, we're going to be focused on CSA, which is candlestick analysis. Again, right down the bottom there, the 3 wows will be ratio. static versus dynamic. So for those of you that have not traded before, guys, for those who have not traded before, just be aware that you can enter a trade in two styles. You can wait for the candle to close. So wait for the 5-minute candle to close and then enter. That's called a static trade. Guys, they normally run at a higher success rate than dynamic trades, but the dynamic traders ultimately get more traders. Ultimately get more trades. Now, as we roll into the open, guys, the volume is just on 99,411. What does that mean? We're in for a volatile day. That means we should pick up between 12 and 14 trades. So, I mean, that's a fair swag of trades, guys, for 90 minutes. Most of the trading will be done in the first 35 to 40 minutes of each hour. And at the end of the day, please don't let me romance you into taking a trade you don't understand or you don't or normally take. It's actually one of the disadvantages of a live trading room, guys, which does get communicated to me on a daily basis. One of the disadvantages is the moderator, that's me, will say, hey, this is a great trade for the following reasons. Even though that trade is not in your trading plan, people are romanced to take the trade anyway. So some people don't care about being romanced, other people do. So I'm just warning you out. As if I call a trade and it's not your trade, just chill out. There'll be a ton of trades today, and we should be in a good place. Now, guys, as per everything that I've done since 2007, guys, we're going to let the market do the heavy lifting. What does that mean? We're going to let the market generate the signal for us. We're not going to second guess the market direction. We're not going to take breakout trades because typically they're fake outs, particularly as futures traders. So what we're going to do, guys and girls, we're not going to swing the market either. Guys, not to be rude, we're not swingers. At the end of the day, we are pure price movement traders enhanced by indicators. The indicators are designed by me to enhance the strategy, and I wrote the strategy. So I'm suffice to say, we're going to let the market do everything for us. Okay, it does it really, really well on a daily basis and produces a lot of signals on a daily basis. Now, when we log in, guys, when we log into the charts, which we'll do very, very shortly, there's going to be 4 charts on the screen. NASDAQ is at the top left-hand corner. NASDAQ is a $5 tick, so $5 per tick. Guys, it's a fast-moving market that is attractive to a lot of people that are brand new to trading, because it moves quickly and gives you an answer very, very quickly, and also moves through $100 profit target also very quickly. Right? So that is a really, really great little. Market for those people that want to sort of just get into trading. They want to get their answers real quick, as they don't like hanging around. Now, the S&P 500 is the opposite. So S&P 500 is a $12.50 tick, so it's more than twice the size. It does move a lot slower. As mind you, you can trade a lot more contracts on the S&P. Some of the traders in the live trading room today will be trading up to 60 contracts. So I can talk about that as we need to. And we've got traders all the way down to those trading 1 or 2 contracts, guys. Now, the FDAX, top right-hand corner, that is an expert market, guys. It is very, very easy to trade, as many of you are finding out. The FDAX is actually probably one of the easiest markets in the world to trade. However, guys and girls, just so you know, just got itchy nose, just so you know, it runs a 40 Aussie dollar tick, or a $25 tick. So the tick size, otherwise known in Europe as points, guys, the point size is double the S&P 500 and more than 5 times the NASDAQ. So you've got to be a little bit careful. As if you want to be an FDAX trader, you will need more money in your trading account, but it moves a lot slower than the NASDAQ and is very, very predictable. In fact, right now, guys, for the FDAX traders, there is a stunning delta trade. Stunning delta trade. For those that are running FDAX charts, you'll be able to see what I mean. Now, as basically what I want everybody to expect, so many of you might be brand new to what we're doing today. Many of you also, guys, will be live. Thomas is already on the trade. It's a beautiful trade, mate. Static bar reversal off a pivot. It's a beautiful trade. So that being said, guys and girls, what to expect? Ultimately, I've got a number of assistant moderators today who are absolutely brilliant at what they do. Because we are running a live trading room, guys, and we do have professional traders in here who trade full-time. That's all that they do. Guys, they're full-time professional traders. The focus of the live trading room will be profit first and education second. So what does that mean? If there is a trading related question in the first 35 to 40 minutes, I'll jump on it. If there's a general knowledge question, like Lachie, why is gold going up today or silver going down? Guys, I'll answer that in the last 15 or so minutes of the session. So Thomas, you've already gone on that FDAX reversal. So 4 times 2, 6 times 2, 8 times 2. So and you've just completed your funding challenge. Can everybody say congratulations to Thomas, guys? That's huge, man. That's huge. So Thomas is now professionally funded trader. Fantastic. I mean, that's great timing. Great timing. That's fantastic, mate. So, guys, timing charts. So interesting point. Some of the people that I have been working with, guys, in this trading session, guys have been with me now. Some of the oldest traders have been with me since 2009. So don't be surprised if there are people putting profit into the LTR chat. Some of the traders are quite advanced with what they do, so I can talk you through what they're doing. Guys, at the end of the day, we are here together to make as much money as we possibly can, but to do that responsibly. So I'll talk to you about the pros and cons of each trade. Now, speaking of pros and cons, guys, we do run the LTR at a plus 90% strike rate. A number of people out there in the world think, well, you can't do that. That's not possible. We did it yesterday, guys. We'll do it probably again today. We very, very, very rarely get a losing trade, primarily because our formulas are mathematical. We also focus on the same thing every day. We only trade 8 signal sets, and they normally overlap with each other. Okay, now, speaking of that, guys, I do put, typically I will put a video on YouTube every day. Guys, quite often I will talk about I've achieved my daily KPI. So just be aware, guys, I've already taken a trade today. I'm already at my daily KPI. I took the trade early on in the session with the intent of getting my profit out of the way so I could focus on helping you guys have a really, really good experience in the trading room. Now, speaking of that, if we do get a pivot-based reversal, guys, which is one of my favorite trades, which is the one that has just occurred on the FDAX. If we do get one of those, guys, then I will be jumping on that. I'll be trying to get up to my double my daily KPI, and then we rock and roll from there. Now, guys, if you do want to do some research, literally go to YouTube. You can jump on Douro Day Trading, guys. That is a really, really good wealth of knowledge. There's a lot of videos there about how to use different trading platforms. What we do in the LTR, why we do it, how we do it, and we go from there. Now, personal considerations, guys. I know this is a long process, but personal considerations. Please be advised that you want to take the trade that makes most sense to you. Don't let me romance you into doing something you're not happy about. Guys, if you're brand new to trading, please watch, listen, and learn. If you're experienced, guys, you can do whatever you want, understanding that I'll be doing exactly the same thing I did yesterday, so there'll be no surprises. Guys, I'm going to seek to maximize the profit on every single trade we take. I'm also going to give you a risk control point. Guys, you don't have to use the risk control point, but we're normally very, very good at saying, please control your risk now and let your profits run. So we'll talk about that as we need to. And guys and girls, please do note that if a trade does involve greater risk than you are prepared to carry, please don't let me talk you into a trade that has too much risk. As everybody's got their own risk profiles. Typically, guys, as I push the button on this PowerPoint, typically I won't put you into a trade that has too much risk. Okay, so and I'll define that risk for you as we need to. All right, so as promised, guys, top left-hand corner is the NASDAQ. Now, I've already been in here doing a fair bit of homework for you. So top left-hand corner is the NASDAQ, bottom left-hand corner is the S&P 500. As the top right is the FDAX. Now, that is the trade. That is the trade that I was just talking about to the FDAX traders, which a number of you have already traded. Guys, that little SBR, so that little indicator at the top there, that's actually a static bar reversal. Guys, what it's doing is picking a failure point by the buyers in the market and telling everybody to send it short. If you see these little numbers above the candle, guys, that's a -2 rated signal. That's quite strong. There's a -3 here. That's also quite strong. Guys, if we get up to the -8s and -9s, normally the market absolutely plummets. All right, so we use these indicators to measure the strength of our analysis with the intent of basically enhancing our ability to read the market. All right, so that, ladies and gents, dare I say it, that is an incredible reversal on the FDAX. Now, we call it a pre-market reversal because we are in the pre-market phase at this point in time, okay? The flip side of the pre-market phase, typically they'll turn around, come back up the way, trigger it again, and then we'll all be able to jump on it again. Now, guys, if I give you the green light on the FDAX, that is a static bar reversal. If I give you the green light to take that trade, guys, the entry point is at 0.56. So if you are an FDAX trader, guys, and I give you permission to trade that SBR, everybody knows, please write it down. Your entry is 0.56, and we'll talk about that as we need to. S&P volume just hit 101,000. Guys, we are in for a volatile day. There is no question. Now, first things first, We'll go down to the biggest market in the world, bar none. Now, this could be a bit of conjecture out there on the internet, and that's okay. Just be advised, if I can, guys and girls, the S&P 500, which is this little chart in the bottom left-hand corner, does 3.147 trillion US dollars on average on a daily basis. It is the biggest market in the world, bar none, full stop, end of story. Some people will say, oh, but Lockie, the currency markets are bigger than that. They're actually not. The currency market available to you through your broker is only as big as the volume your broker can provide you. I can guarantee your broker is not giving you $3.147 trillion worth of volume. They're giving you the volume that they've got access to, which could actually be as little as 10,000 US dollars. So just got to be a little bit careful. There's a little bit of misinformation out there. The reason we focus on the S&P 500 when we first come in is the S&P 500 and the FESX, so bottom right-hand corner, they will basically dictate the direction of everything we do today. All right, so if you're a NASDAQ trader, we're going to use the S&P 500 as reference. If you're an FDAX trader, we're going to use the FESX as reference. Okay, so we got some reference charts. Now, with all of that said, guys, I believe the US markets are looking very, very strong. Okay, very, very strong to the high side. Guys, I think we're going to be buying the American markets today. But again, we're going to be buying them with a caveat. Okay, now the caveat is this, just to point it out. The S&P 500 loves the 133 fib extension, 133.141.4. They've basically gone and touched the 133 perfectly. Guys, if we stall here, once the European market opens, you may be looking for static bar reversals or dynamic trades, guys, or dynamic trades off the Fibonacci extensions. That's only for those people that trade that. Now, the NASDAQ, top left-hand corner, guys, has gone nowhere near as far as the S&P 500 yet. Okay, so the danger we have, guys, the danger we have on the NASDAQ today comes down to one factor only, and it's right there. All right, so the NASDAQ is in a 60-minute chart swing trigger long. Now, the problem with a 60-minute chart swing trigger long, guys, is that normally goes for 3 hours as per the rule of 3. So coming into the session today, the American market mathematically should buy for the next 2 hours. Now, hence the problem. Hence the problem. If we pick up a really, really lovely, guys, if we pick up a really, really lovely buying candle, for those that haven't been in the session before, a lovely buying candle is like this one right here. It's got a little green arrow underneath it saying here is a buying signal. Guys, it's got a strength rating underneath it. If we do get lovely buying candles, guys, like this one here as well, so beautiful buying signal, guys, again with a delta straight outside that, the delta is a buying order for those people that are not aware. If we do get this, guys and girls, we're just going to be buying into the trend and buying into the trend and basically buying into the trend until they stop. Okay, now, generally, if the market does that, we're going to be carrying a little bit of risk. So what we have to do is we're going to have to assess the risk on every single trade that pops up. Now, if we're going to pick up a really, really big reversal, guys, on the NASDAQ, okay, it's going to happen here at the 133 daily fib extension, right? So we might run up here. The deal with running up here, though, guys, we're into an interesting little place, because we're about to trigger, or we just have triggered. Let me just double check here. On the NASDAQ, guys, we've just triggered a daily swing trigger long. S&P has just triggered in the next hour, the S&P could also trigger a daily long. So what it ultimately means is if we get some buying momentum, I'm just going to give you a Fibonacci on the daily chart. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing here. If we get some momentum to the high side, guys, the NASDAQ is going to move to that blue dotted line there. So we've got an arrow on that. We know that that's up there. In terms of pivot-based reversals for the NASDAQ traders, if we get below yesterday's high, which is hiding just here, as if we get below yesterday's high, then we're in a really good spot. I'm going to take that green Fibonacci off, guys. Let me just grab that green Fibonacci. I'm going to take that off the NASDAQ solely to make sure that yesterday's high is more obvious. All right, so very, very important for the NASDAQ traders. If we fail to buy the market strong, and we turn around and come back the other way, if we close below yesterday's high, and it's a beautiful round number, guys. As no doubt, Louis is a big fan of round numbers. If we get below that, guys, we're going to set up a really, really lovely sell signal. Now, for the S&P 500 traders, this is your daily chart. You don't have a Fibonacci extension that complements this move. Right? So I'm just having a look there. You just don't have the same extensions. So therefore, the S&P daily chart, guys, if anything, the most important thing about the S&P is we could trigger a swing trigger at 5755, right? So for everybody, particularly for the 5755, yeah, right here, yesterday's high. Perfect. So that is a swing trigger. So let me just go. So swing trigger long on the 1440 minute chart. Now, some of you might be looking at that going, locking 1440 minute chart. As we don't use daily charts as futures traders, we use 1440 minute charts because they're more accurate. Okay, just so everybody knows. Now we've got 4.5 minutes, guys, until the gun goes. Over here to the right-hand side. So please note, guys, the European markets have swapped over to the December 2024 contract. So please do jump on that. And you can jump on the mic, mate, if you want. You've got a 60-minute chart extension.
Yes, mate. It's 60 minutes NQ chart extension. It's the last ABC long.
Yeah, I've just adjusted my fib accordingly. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And the ES as well, mate, as well.
Yep. I'm just bringing it across now. Okay, perfect. All right. So those Fibonacci extensions, guys, these are little black dotted lines across the screen. The American markets are famous for stalling at the 133, 140, 1.4. Those under extreme volatility, which we don't have today, they normally go to the 160, 1.8. So if we start, guys, the key point, if we start pushing through these levels today, you've got to be very, very careful about reversing, guys, until we get like literally concurrent failure on both of those US markets simultaneously. Now, for the Europeans, as we just look at the bigger charts, we'll go straight for the 4-hour chart on the FESX. This is the danger chart, guys. This is where the FDAX traders can literally get caught with their pants down. Again, no joke. This can be really, really unfriendly. So for the European-based traders, you've got a very large gap to close to the downside. They don't have to close it yet. The flip side of that, 1, 2, 3. If we get to yesterday's high, guys, if we get to yesterday's high on the FESX, that is a 4-hour. That is a 4-hour SBR long. Now, that is exactly what you need to be careful of. Okay, that can be, if I could type, we would need to be a little bit careful of that one, right? So 4-hour SBR long. For those that are not aware of an SBR, it's a static bar reversal. It's a mathematical trade. So there'd be a ton of European-based traders who are waiting for that to trigger. Now, I think that's going to be a fake out, guys, as opposed to a breakout, all right? So you just got to be very, very careful. Don't put a buy order up there. I think your buy order is going to get smacked. My personal opinion. Down to the 60-minute chart, guys, there is a very, very obvious Fibonacci extension here that's going to literally play with the Europeans today. So that will be their Fibonacci extension. Guys, if they get, oh, look at this right here. If the Europeans get a wriggle on, guys, if we get a wriggle on, they're going to go for these 76s off the daily chart. So that's a big move to the high side. Ironically, guess what that coincides with? This coincides with the big move on the US markets as well. And now we are, guys, how far from open? 90 seconds from open. So what we'll do at this point in time, guys, for those of you who are copy trading today across multiple accounts, if you are doing that, make sure you've connected to the right account, please. Guys, if you're trading in sim, awesome. If you're trading live, awesome. Just make sure you're connected to the right account. There's nothing like taking an amazing winning trade to then work out you're in sim. So we don't want to do that. For the FDAX traders, if we come back down, please watch 19,000. There's also an incredible sell point. There's an incredible sell point if we do come back down again. And a big one for the FDAX, we're running over these daily 78 Fibonacci. So there's a lot of reason for these guys to shoot up, fail, turn around and come back the other way. Now, speaking of that, if you trade the opening, what's that, Dams?
There's also 60-minute extensions on DAX. We're at them now. It failed in the pre-market.
Good. I'll do another, guys. I'll do another sweep of microphones. 60-minute fib, Damsey, I appreciate that. Thank you. There is a beautiful 60-minute chart extension. So the guys and girls that have got their microphones turned on, just so everybody knows, they're very, very talented traders in their own right, and they basically help out, guys, because as you're about to see, a lot goes on in this trading room. Okay. Now, for those FDAX traders who trade the opening candle, there is an R1 reversal setting up, guys, at 6-0. So if you are an FDAX trader who trades the opening candle, you are picking up an R1 reversal at 6-0, guys, which has not triggered yet. So that's a reversal short. So you've got an entry at 6-0. If you're aggressive, it's 6-1. And your risk control point, please, is 5-5. Okay, risk control point is 5-5. This is for the FDAX traders that trade the opening candle. If you are going to trade that, guys and girls, I would prefer your entry at 6-0. Your risk control point is 55 if you trade the opening candle. If you wait for the opening candle to blow its volume, guys, it's about 10 seconds away from blowing its volume. I have a sneaking suspicion that, look at that, they're going to pick you up at 6-0 and they've just smashed your 5-5 target. If that is you, guys and girls, with the volatility at 17, for those of you that haven't traded with us before, this is basically a volatility measure. That calls for 5-point targets for the beginner traders. So for the FDAX traders, if you're in at 6-0, your first target is 5-5, you're already out. Your second target is 5-0, you're already kissing 5-0 as well. Now, if you are a slightly more experienced trader, guys, I want you to try and take that short to 2 points above that blue line, please. So it's around about a 20-point trade. Well done, Aaron. Nice work, mate. So, mate, you've been trading for 90 seconds and you've hit your daily KPI. Okay, well done. Now, guys, note that the psychology of Europe is selling after a buy. So some of you have shorted the NASDAQ, guys, off that 133 fib extension. This is what we were talking about before. These guys normally fail at the 133 extension. If you are short, guys, on the NASDAQ, they normally go to the 100 extension as the first port of call. FDAX traders, if we get a higher high or a second kiss of the R1, then you've got my permission to go short again at 6-0 with the intent of going for 5-5, 5-0, 4-5, and 4-0, depending on how experienced you are and how many contracts you run with. What have we got there, Remy? 50 contracts times 5 off the 133. That's a beautiful trade. So our experienced NASDAQ traders, guys, are hitting the 133 fib extension. Okay, we spoke about this in the pre-brief. If the market pushes up and they blow volume, it means the sellers are sitting over the top of the 133, sending it back the other way, which is exactly what they did yesterday. And they should go down here. FDAX, if we kiss the R1 again, you're going short at 60. Your target is once again 55. All right, so if you've gone in again, guys, your target is 55 again. For those that don't know what we do, we're not going to take an FDAX trade in the last 90.
Look, we lost your microphone, Mike.
Okie doke. Am I back on, guys? Oh, there I am. I don't know what's going wrong there. Ahmed,
Yeah, mate.
it might
Yeah,
be
mate.
your mic turning over mine. Okay.
No, mate.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So we're back. So what I was saying, guys, what I was saying to the FDAX traders is, again, be careful of the last 90 seconds. Now, again, if we move back up towards the R1 or a brand new high, we'd be looking to re-enter again at 6-0 with the risk control point and first target is 5-5. As if this green candle closes over the top of the R1, we can't go short. Some of you are short at the moment already at 6.0. Your first target is 5.5. You've just kissed your target again. That target's about to get annihilated, guys. Right, you're on target now. Come on, sweetheart. Boom, you're through your target. So if you've taken that FDAX trade, guys, you may have picked it up twice off the R1. Your backup trade is this static bar reversal we spoke about right at the start of the session. So for those of you that have traded this static bar reversal, okay, so this static bar reversal over here, you may have traded that twice. Guys, I want you to go for 5 and 10 point targets. Most of the FDAX traders should be finished trading for the day. Matt, well done, +5 times 2. Beautiful trade. NASDAQ traders, just make sure that my mic stays on here. NASDAQ traders, you are in an interesting place where some of you have shorted off the 133. Right, hello, Rob. Sorry, mate, I'm doing my best, mate. I'm doing my best. So for the NASDAQ traders, for those that are experienced, that trade the opening candle of the, for those that trade the opening candle of the NASDAQ, sorry guys, tongue-tied, you've gone short off the 133, you've gone very, very well. Okay, for the beginner traders, you're looking for a double touch or double failure reversal. You're looking for the buyers to push up, tag that 133, and you're entering 2 ticks underneath the 133 if you are a 133 fib failure. Petros, well done. Now, for those of you that are a stickler, if you're a stickler for rules, what you're looking for is you're looking for a higher high. You want the buyers to push up on the NASDAQ over the top of this candle. You want them to push over the top, tag the 141.4, fail there, and then you're going to enter under the 133 and drop it back the other way. Matt and Diane and Aaron. Matt and Diane and Aaron, a question. What kind of reversal is that and why has it gone so well? What kind of reversal is that and why has it gone so well? Second tier, Matt, well done. I know Diane's on it. Diane's on it as well. So guys, yeah, exactly right, Diane. It's a second tier reversal, guys, of the same psychological area. They fatigued on the opening candle and again, the buyers got smashed. Guys, can I highlight something which is really important? Okay, all of the swing traders that went long at the top of the market have just been annihilated. All right, so just to highlight, guys, we're not swingers, like at all. Some of you will giggle at that comment, but we are not swingers. We don't do that. We just get on with the job of trading. Sellers have the stair step on FDAX now. Yes, so we're looking for double touch or single touch reversals long off the open in the 50%. Guys, what I mean by stair step, right? There's some of you that don't do what we do, and that's okay. All right, so let me draw the stair step on the FDAX for you. Okay, so at that point in time, the buyers own the stair step. Okay, the moment the sellers got below this point here, which is the B point of an ABC pattern, the moment they got below there, they've stolen the stair step. Now, at this point in time, that means no more reversal trades. It means that those people who are short from the top of the jar, we've got a couple of bigger traders that are short from up here. They're going to try and hold that short for up to 15 minutes to maximize the profit on the trade. Right when I did that. NASDAQ. For those of you who have a double touch or double failure reversal, guys, the buyers have cruised back up, got within a couple of ticks of the 133, and they've sold the market down. Has anybody re-entered on the NASDAQ short off the 133 extension? Now, if you have done that, if your sellers are capable of coming down to the 100% extension, guys, if they fall through the 100 extension, they're going to go all the way down to yesterday's high, which is a very, very big trade. A very big trade. Okay, some of you are on that trade. All right, so here we go. What I want you to do, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so for those that are short, I want you to try with your long range targets to go for around about 96 ticks worth of profit. Okay, so your profit target is going to sit here. That's your profit target. Now, if you are short off the 133s, guys, you are now around 60, 65 ticks into profit. Here we go. It's about to melt down. If you're short, guys, I want you to try and hold short for really, really long range targets, but please cut all your risk off so you have no risk on the trade at all, right? So now we're in a situation where we've got zero risk and a 96 tick target. So our risk to reward, guys, is now 96 times in our favor. If you guys can get below that 100% extension, you're going to fall straight to my black line. Now, if they fall hard, they're going to smash the black line. What have we got? No, we've got tons of room here. Okay, so let me have a quick look. Right, so we are moving pretty quick. Guys, we are moving pretty quick. Yeah, there's your 100%. There's your risk control point. So I'd suggest, guys, really early on in this candle, okay, we're going to see some buying coming back in. That is a 4-point turn. That's a 4-point turning bar short, guys, carrying significant risk. So at this point in time, guys, if you're a 4-point turning bar trader, it is a valid trade, provided you get a nice retrace by the buyers get slammed, provided you promise me you're also going to control your risk at the black line. Now, in terms of risk on Nazi, as for those that are short from the top of the jar, you've got no risk with a massive risk to reward ratio. For those that are going to go short, guys, promise me you're going to control your risk at the black line, please. Okay, so we're going to give them 2 or 3 surges, guys, 2 or 3 surges of selling. We need them, guys, we need them to come down here. So for those that are short on the 4-point turning bar, guys, we're looking for a 10-tick risk control point, okay, which looks like this. So you guys are also, come on, go. All right, you've triggered your risk control, guys, and first target on the 4-point turning bar. Long range traders, you're out at 96 ticks times $5 off the 133. That's a stunning trade. More experienced traders, you're going to see if this candle holds under yesterday's high. Am I being clear enough? Am I being clear enough with my calls? The market's moving fast, and that's okay. For those that don't know what we do, it's probably looking like this is baptism by fire today, but it's a fast-moving day. That delta, guys, on S&P 500, guys, that delta there is a delta short, guys, adjacent to a ratio-based static bar reversal. The S&P 500 traders may also be short, guys, off the 161.8 extension or that delta or that static bar reversal. Where's you got that one as well? Brilliant. Rob, this is okay. Awesome. What's Craig doing? Causing trouble? Okay. Ah, dear. All right, hang on. Sip of coffee. Sip of coffee. Guys, when you're moderating, I got to say, you can see the camera. There's always one. It'd probably be Craig. Sorry, mate. I'll try and make it clearer. Okay. Ahmed, you got 10 times 4 plus 20 plus 50 times 2. That's a massive trade. Remy got 100 times 5 on the NASDAQ short off the 133. Stunning trading, guys and girls. Stunning trading. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, now, FDAX traders, guys, if you're short, now I know a number of you are short because I know what you do. All right, second tier reversal, Matt, Diane, Aaron, and those people that are learning, Craig, learning the FDAX. Guys, again, if you pick up a second tier reversal, which is a second tier failure at the same psychological area, you're going to try and hold that trade for up to 15 minutes to maximize your profit. Guys, at this point in time, you're currently sitting, again, if you go for 5s and 10s, you finish for the day. But guys, you guys are currently sitting about 40 points. For those that don't know the maths, that's 40 points times 25 US dollars per point. So that's $1,000 US in profit. As for you guys, I'd be locking in probably 500 US. So lock in at least 500 to 600 US. And guys, if we get a breakdown through the MDI, that's going to be a massive trade. If the market does what it normally does, guys, it's going to go to the 76s. Quick. Do we have Andy today? Andy in Melbourne. Is Andy still short on the NASDAQ for long-range targets, please? Okay, FDAX. Yes. Hello, mate. He's still short. Okay. There's a target zone for the FDAX traders. All right, that yellow box is your target zone based on Fibonacci. And what do we got there? Nathan's still short. I thought you would be. Now you know just as well as I do, mate. Just lock in a big fat chunk of profit on FDAX. The reason being, those that may not be aware, this trend indicator here is a mobile support and resistance level. If the market can't break down to this level here, there will be people around the world that try and swing it back the other way. We're not going to swing it back the other way because we don't swing into pivots, right? That would not be a very, very smart swing at all. Now, mind you, some people out there in the world have the wrong pivot files on as well. So therefore they swing into brick walls and they have losing trades and they don't actually know why it's a loss. Well, the reason it's a loss is because they swung into a brick wall. That's swing anything into a brick wall, it's going to be painful. Or is it there's a military saying, those who do not listen must feel, right? So I'm telling you, please do not swing the market into a brick wall. Just don't do that. All right. So that one, guys, for those that went short on the NASDAQ, you've done really, really well. If you traded the 4-point turning bar, guys, we had a 10-tick risk control point, then we let the profits run. That's also gone very well. For the 4-point turning bar traders, did anybody get anything more than 10, 12, 14, 20? Is anyone still short on the 4-point turning bar? Remy, you scaled in on the 4-point turning bar for 50 times 5. Is that correct? Only realized it was not efficient. Okay, Matt, that's okay. If the market is falling, you'll get away with the deltas anyway. Okay, Cole was jumped. Remy did scale in on the 4-point turning bar. Did you get that? Oh, okay, but you're nicely positive. All right, Akito's nicely positive. Guys, just to refresh everybody, guys, I'm already at my daily trading KPI. If I get a really, really juicy signal, guys, I might go again for double KPI. The flip side of that, guys, the best tip I can ever give you in the game of trading is if you're already at your daily KPI and you're happy with what you've done, guys, you can hang around with us and watch what we do. Flip side being is you can run away, come back tomorrow. I think Aaron I laughed at the start, but Aaron was at his daily KPI in the first 90 seconds of the session. That is a no-brainer in my humble opinion. All right, now, we are, for the S&P 500 traders, Wes, you got that short, which is fantastic. For the S&P 500 traders, your barrier, guys, is the R1. So if we do close under the R1 on the S&P 500, naturally, guys, the S&P traders, your sell is going to go even further and further and further and further. NASDAQ, guys, is faltering because the S&P is faltering. Greg, you got 10 times 5, 20 times 5 oil short. Beautiful. As I did in coaching last night, guys, I got asked to show an oil chart. And I think for those that go into coaching, they're a little bit blown away as to how simple oil is to trade. Greg, so oil should be going down, mate, provided people stop blowing each other up in the Middle East. Again, guys, I don't have an opinion either way on that. I think it's horrible. But my point being is, got to stop blowing each other up. Otherwise, it could get really, really nasty really quickly, which is just horrible. Now, speaking of horrible, or the opposite of horrible, Nathan is still short on the FTX. He's locked in a big chunk of profit. Nathan, if we break today's low, these FTX traders, mate, are likely to go to 19,000. Right? They're likely to go to 19,000. If they get below 19,000, right, they're going to go to the gap 76. Okay, so that means they're going to go all the way down here. Guys, now the beauty of picking up a short very, very early on in the session is if these guys turn around and fall for the next 90 minutes, you're just sitting there collecting more and more and more and more and more profit, like more and more and more and more profit. You got no risk. Like I don't want to highlight that point. You've got zero risk and it's just unlimited profit now. Just let them fall and fall and fall and fall. So for those that went short, guys, on the Nasdaq, let me just, again, we had a 133. We had a 133 fib. Okay, 133 at the top. So, guys, for those that went short there, guys, note that once we've got 20, 30, 40 ticks into profit, bring your stop loss to -1. You've got one tick. You've got $5 at risk to make 1,000. Sorry, $5. That's bad maths. That's shit maths. $5 at risk to make 500. So your risk to reward is 100 times in your favor. Some people get excited about 1-to-1. It doesn't make sense. Now, sellers have the step on the S&P, so we will be heading back up again. We should be heading back up again because the S&P 500 is failing at its R1. Okay, so let's just see what these guys do. At this point in time, guys, the sellers have stolen the stair step on the S&P 500. So the beauty of owning the stair step, nice, if I draw a Fibonacci down in order to catch them on the way back up, as if we get a reversal trade on the S&P, it's straight back into the 50 fib of the micro trend, which is not a good idea. So again, depending on where the reversal sets up, they're highly likely to try and tease this red 50 fib. They're highly likely to tease that. Let's just see what they've got. NASDAQ, guys, same rule applies on NASDAQ. Okay, same rule applies. I'm going to draw the Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up. For the Nazi traders, that's too close, guys, too close to the 50 fib. So I tell you what, guys, the S&P 500 traders can do, which is really sneaky and a little bit creative. If your buyers push up here, and fail really badly, that delta there, which is the delta we first spoke about, is looking pretty good, guys. Mind you, we've got to get well above it and we've got to fail badly. Now, I only say that, guys and girls, because we can't trade the market up. We can only trade the market down. Okay, that's because of that 50 fib. So for those of you that are going to watch that very, very closely, guys, your entry point is 42.75. Your first target is 41.75. Okay, and you're one tick off your first target already. You've just kissed your first target. So if you are short, guys, on that delta, your entry is 42.75. Your first target is 41.75. You've just gone through your 4-tick target. Yes, if the NASDAQ gets high enough, guys, I'm targeting that -4 rated static bar reversal short, but the NASDAQ has got to push up hard and get slammed. So note that the S&P has pushed up. Now, that is an S&P 500 slamming, guys. It's not very impressive, but that is an S&P 500 trade. Exactly, Dan, spot on the mark. So for the S&P 500 traders who are short at 42.75, your first target is 41.75. Your second target is 40.75 for a 4 and 8 tick target respectively. You've got a new delta, guys, here on the S&P. You can't trade the new delta, but that means the 8 tick target's going to go, right? You're at 8 ticks right now, so they're kissing 8s. Interesting point, guys, for the S&P, you guys are kissing the high side of the MDI, which is a mobile support and resistance level. So if you are short on the S&P, guys, at 42.75, cut your risk off now. So it's just money for jam, please. It's money for jam. Sellers own the stair step 100% right across both markets, Alan. You're on the money. Now, the problem with sellers owning the stair step is normally we would want to go long on the NASDAQ, but because of the 50 fib of the micro trend, we can't. We can only go short. So if the buyers on the NASDAQ pushed up and got above the entry point for that little static bar reversal, we would sell them again. At the moment, they haven't done that. Now, FDAX traders, you guys are stuck under Fibonacci. Stuck under Fibonacci. You're also stuck under pivots. So you guys can't do anything at this point in time. If we do get a 4-point turning bar long, guys, on the FDAX, we're going to do the same analysis, guys, we're doing on the NASDAQ. All right, we're going to draw a Fibonacci down in order to catch them on the way up. The spine of the Fibonacci is always left to right. It's never right to left, guys, so we don't read Fibonacci backwards. FDAX, if you get a 4-point turning bar long, okay, your concern is here. Okay, that arrow is too big. So let me get a better arrow. That's your concern right there. Okay. Now, if you are one of the more senior traders, guys, and you're short from the top of the jar, guys, you're short from the R1 up here. You've already gone 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You got more than 40 points times 40 Aussie dollars per point. You guys have gone more than 1,600 Aussie dollars into profit per contract traded. Right, so if you're holding that for a big one, guys, you only need to hold it down to around about here, guys, and it's 2,000 Aussie dollars per contract. I don't think they're going to get there just yet, though, guys. I think they're going to sniff this 50 here. So again, last 90 seconds, guys, last 90 seconds. Good chance for me to grab a sip of coffee. Hold on one tick. It's amazing how the moment you start moderating, your coffee goes cold. Still has the right effect though. Still has the right effect. All right, so we're waiting. So note, guys, we can't go long into the 50 fibs. If the NASDAQ was to close over the 50 fib, okay, close over the 50 fib with an efficient CORPC bar with step and trend, we may consider taking it. We don't have step. We just have trend. That is not a strong candle. The buyers have lost control of the American markets. Of course, right at the end of the candle, let's have a look. No, not doing anything on NASDAQ, guys. If anything, we're going to wait for the buyers to push up, fail at Fibonacci, reload that SBR on the left-hand side. So this is the SBR. Guys, for those people that don't do what we do, that is an SBR. We're looking for an entry. The buyers have got to really impress everybody, guys and girls, and then get slammed, right? Then get slammed. FDAX, we can't go short into the 50 fib of the micro trends. Okay, we can't go short into the 50 fib. Now, that is a 4-point turning bar long on the FDAX. FESX, 4-point turning bar long as well. Now, the key point with the 4-point turning bar, guys, on FESX, it's back into a pivot. We can't go long, guys, on any markets. We want to be short right across the board. Now, that means we need a valid trade. All right, so DAXy at this point in time for the DAX traders, you've had a killer start. You can't go up and you can't go down. All right, so please just fingers off the triggers. All right, so you might be sitting there with your finger on your mouse. Please take it off. In case you get a wave in adrenaline and you suddenly find you're taking trades by accident. Right, I've done that before. When I first started trading, my finger used to shake with adrenaline. It doesn't anymore because when I first started, guys, I didn't know what I was doing.
Sorry,
and more importantly,
If the market goes to the yesterday, like, can we take it long?
Say again.
I said if the market goes to the yesterday, look, the Nasdaq, can we take it long again?
You can if you get a lower low, mate. Yes. All right. So Ahmed's question, guys, is a great question. So at the moment, the sellers own the stair step on the NASDAQ. We're looking for buying base reversals. If the sellers sell down, guys, and create a lower low, so if they create a lower low, they try and get well below yesterday's low and get absolutely hammered, like hammered, there is a long. Now, this is where there's a little bit of discretion, guys, because what does hammered look like? Okay, so hammered is a very technical trading term. What we need to do is we need to get Fibonacci structure behind what they're doing. All right, so I'm going to draw a Fibonacci up. Ahmed, it's a great question. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci up, guys, to catch them on the way down. What I need for the NASDAQ sellers to do is I need them to sell down. They need to tag that 50 or that 61.8 or these evil twins down the bottom. They've got to tag that, and the buyers have got to slam them. Can you see the guys are arguing at the moment about what they're going to do? So right now we're looking for a lower low, Ahmed. So we're looking for a lower low. Okay, at the moment we get the lower low, we're looking for where they're failing. And then we are looking for an entry 2 ticks over the top of yesterday's high going long with tight risk control. Now, if you're a bit of a stickler for rules, guys and girls, you wait for the lower low and then start looking for your Fibonacci, but you can put your Fibonacci on first. There's no question about that. Now, your volatility, guys, is 57. So it means that, again, a risk control point of 10 ticks is brilliant. A first target of 25 is also brilliant. Again, if you're going to go long on the NASDAQ, guys, we just watch the last 90 seconds of the candle. We've got 10 seconds before we'd say, let's wait for the next candle. If we do buy the NASDAQ long, we need to be careful of that 50 fib right there. Okay, now the market has already shown us to be careful of the 50 fib. So if we are going to pick up another long, we need to be careful of the 50 fib because the market has told us to be careful. Now, if this candle closes under yesterday's high, there is no long above yesterday's high. If the S&P 500 closes over the 50 fib of the micro trend, the NASDAQ is going to buy. If it gets caught under, it's going to sell. So the next 1 minute and 2 seconds or so is actually really, really quite important. I personally don't think the US markets are going to go up. I think they're going to go down. Now, why do I think that? Because the sellers are just gaining territory on the buyers and they're using less volume doing it. All right, so if you're waiting for the lower low, guys, you're waiting for the lower low, we want them to bounce off the 50 or this one or this one. So they've come back down, touched the 50 and just fallen through it. So they're not bouncing yet. They're not bouncing off this one. They're trying to bounce off this one, but we're also very, very late in the candle. Okay, S&P 500 traders, your next trade is a bounce off the R1. FDAX traders, you're about to pick up an enormous short. An enormous short. Okay, so I think we're going to be picking up shorts right across the board, guys and girls. So right across the board. NASDAQ, FDAX. So FDAX traders, guys, again, you're going to pick up a short. There's no question about that. For the FDAX traders, we want to see a touch of green before we get the reds. NASDAQ, your short has triggered and run already. Right? So if you've gone short on the NASDAQ already, guys, this is happening real quick. If you've gone short on the NASDAQ already, guys, you saw the sellers coming in at the close of the candle. That is a very, very strong, efficient candle to the downside. You may have taken the delta as a backup trade short, as you may have taken a delta as a backup trade. Now, real quick with Fibonacci, guys, I would suggest the Fibonacci is going to come from down the bottom of the jar here. So for those of you that saw the efficient NASDAQ candle, guys, and just grabbed it short, if you have done that, okay, there's nothing wrong with that if you know what you're doing, particularly with the strong sell-in towards the close of the candle. They are likely to push for here. FDAX traders, if you got a touch of green and went short, guys, even as low as 005, you've just smashed your targets again on FDAX. Well done, guys. You guys belted it. Well done, well done. FDAX traders, you guys kind of know what you're doing. Very strong sell signal, delta outside the range of the sell. Even if you got slip on your sell, you've belted your targets. Nathan, are you still short on your original short trade? Because if you are. So Nathan is short, guys, from the top of the chart. Now that FDAX trade is going to be a monster. Well, Diane, you know the beautiful thing about and guys, look, great lesson. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. We got an amazing swing trade long here, and I said you can't go long because of the 50 fib. You've got to go short. Nathan's still short from the top of the jar, and other people have gone short again down here as a scaling. I said, what does that mean? It means that if you can't go long and the market can't go long, it has to go short because there's only two teams, buyers versus sellers, and the stronger team has to win. Now, for those that have gone short on NASDAQ, guys, if you have gone short on NASDAQ, guys, it's gone at least 10, 20, 30, 40, at least 50 ticks from your entry point. Now, what you guys are going to be dealing with is a Fibonacci extension. Okay, so you're going to be dealing with a Fibonacci extension, and you're also going to be dealing with a Fibonacci retracement. So you're also dealing with 100% Fibonacci, guys, off the daily chart, which was a problem over here. So it's going to be a problem on the way down. So Tim, have you done okay today, man? You've probably done really, really well today, actually. I'd love to know. Daniel, 76s. There might be 76s, the slightly closer ones. So guys, we may be dealing with this Fibonacci here. Okay, we are dealing with that one. Plus 20, Cole, well done, mate. That's fantastic. How did Tim go? Oh, plus 25 on the FDAX. Oh, mate, well done. That's fantastic. Good. Guys, 20. So, and again, I laugh, guys and girls, because really, really simple. A good FDAX trader does 5 points a day. It's $250,000 a year. Tim's done 25 points today, which is more than $250,000 a year once you're on 10 contracts. Because if your daily KPI is 5 and you've done 25, I reckon you're in a pretty good spot, right? Because you're like, well, my daily KPI is like $250. I've done 5 times that. Good on me. I'll go away now, come back tomorrow, early mark, have an early dinner, and off we go. We're only 33 minutes into the session, which is really good. Okay, so S&P 500 traders, guys, we'll just start drawing circles. We got the delta the first time through. We got a delta the second time through. So what I'm going to do, guys, for the purpose of my screenshots, guys, I'm just going to write a 2x underneath that because we got an opportunity to trade it twice. For the NASDAQ traders, you've got your static bar reversal over here, but you've also got your 133 fib extension, and you've also got your 4-point turning bar. Now, we jumped on effectively all of those. Now, why am I doing this, guys and girls? Because today, if the moderator does a good job, we should be looking at 10 to 12 trades, right, based on the lead-in volume. FDAX, at this point in time, you've had your reversal off the pre-market box. For those that didn't want that, you've had your static bar reversal, and we had 2 bites of the reversal of this one, and then we've had this one here. So FDAX, you're currently sitting at 4 trades, 4 wins, right? So you guys are getting to the point where you're achieving something that most people in the world say you can't achieve, which is 100% strike rate. But of course, you can't achieve that, right? It's not possible. It's not possible to achieve that. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, again, we've got a very, very strong sell candle. For those that have gone short, brilliant. If you took the delta, that was brilliant. They've run into the tighter 76 fibs, so that extension can go. Now, what does it mean, guys? If you're using the tighter fib, some of you may have gone long off the 76 fibs going the other way. Do I have anyone that's gone long off the 76 fibs? Now, I didn't call that because I had a bigger Fibonacci on. Louis, you have. Okay, very, very, very well done. Now, so some traders are long, guys, which is brilliant. Let me just do a Fibonacci to work out if we had agreement. Look at this. All right, so that's my mistake. All right, if I had have had my Fibonacci turned on the S&P, now obviously there's a bit going on. We could have sent the S&P 500 traders long off those 76s and taken a complementary trade on the NASDAQ. Okay, so complementary trade on the NASDAQ, which would be brilliant. Guys, Remy's post is really, really smart. If you're over your daily KPI, guys, please do not let me romance you into taking another trade, guys. That's why we have KPIs. Guys, now, again, your KPI might only be $250 US. That's fine, guys. If you've made 250, grab the money and leave. Come back tomorrow. We'll do it again. And eventually, guys, you just step up contracts. So eventually it becomes $500 US a day. Then it becomes $1,000 US a day and just keeps getting bigger and bigger based on your contract loading. Louis, you did 105 ticks on 10 contracts. You are a legend, right? You are a legend. You've gone, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 89. Wow. Moderator mistake there, guys. I should have sent the S&P and NASDAQ traders long off the 76s. It just shows you guys how powerful Fibonacci is. And I'm amazed there are people out there in the world that don't trade Fibonacci. Louis Brown only got 41 on the way down and 100 on the way up. Oh, poor you, but I feel very sorry for you. It's a can of tuna tonight, mate. You're in big trouble. I promise I won't tell your wife. You're in big trouble. As you do the math, guys, do the math on that if you want. 100 times 10 times $5, right? So just do the math. 100 times 10, you can do the math on that, times $5. 100 times 10 times 5 probably puts that into perspective. I'm not going to do the math for you. 100 times 10 times $5 US. God, it makes it even sexier. Louis, even sexier when you convert it to Aussie dollars. I think that's bloody fantastic. All right, now FDAX traders, your trades, guys, the trade of the day for the FDAX traders. Again, guys, the delta outside the range of the monster efficient candle is ridiculous. The easiest trade for you guys, wait for the opening counter to go climactic, wait for the failure of the brick wall, sit under the brick wall and come back the other way. Poetry in motion. Guys, now that's exactly the same trade we took yesterday. Nathan, 6, 12, 21, and 70 on the FDAX. Massive trade. Massive trade. Just, hang on, I'm going to go with super coffee. Right, now note, please, guys and girls, the mojo starting to leave the market. All right, now what does this mean? A lot of the really good traders globally, guys, a lot of the really good traders will trade for the first 35 to 40 minutes, the first 35 to 40 minutes of the hour, and then stop. Now, why do they do that? They do that, guys, because as we get closer to the hourly turn, the signal success rate drops. And that's not a failing of the signal set. It's a failing of the mathematics that's driving the market. Okay, it's the failure of the mathematics driving the market. Now, speaking of mathematics, as the buyers have just stolen the stair step on the NASDAQ, meaning that static bar reversal is back on again. Have I got anyone that's seen the buyers still the stair step on NASDAQ and gone short again? Now, if you have done that, nice, if you have done that, that's sniper eyes. Okay, you've done very, very, very well. Guys, note, please, the sellers had the stair step all the way down the bottom of the jar. The buyers have just stolen the stair step and they've reset the SBR short on the left-hand side. So, yeah, Cole, I mean, I only just saw it as they came through. We might get another bite at that one. We might get another. The S&P's done the same. Guys, buyers own the stair step on S&P 500. So that delta, guys, the delta with the yellow circle on it is back in vogue again for another 4-tick target. All right. Now, oh, no. Yeah. Mark, mate, when we were at Duntroon, so guys, I got invited back to Duntroon as an instructor. And again, that was probably one of the most incredible postings ever. We would only teach people for 40 minutes because people's attention span just runs out of steam at 45. So that's why, guys, that's why if you want to set yourselves up for success as a trader, say, I'm going to sit down for the first 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to grab every trade that I possibly can until I hit my KPI, and then I'm going to stop. Guys, but what you're not going to do is sit down and try and trade for 8 to 10 hours. Unless you trade for 35 minutes and then take a 25-minute break, trade for 35, take 25 off. As otherwise, you're going to find, guys, you literally end up staring at the screen and it's all just a blur of green and red. Guys, in the army, we call that tunnel vision, where you're staring at the front, but you just can't see anything. It means you need to stop. Otherwise, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to give your profit back, and then you're going to get pissed off at yourself because you gave all your profit back, and that's just not very smart. Okay, now, guys, again, let these buyers come through. Let these buyers come through. We are potentially, right? So we need Fibonacci coming back the other way. We may be, guys, setting up sell signals here. Now we've come back above that buying level, sorry, the selling level. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, let me look at the larger charts. Okay, we have basically just triggered on both American markets. As we've just triggered a 15-minute chart swing trigger long, right? So we've just be a bit careful now. Let me be a bit careful. Let me just give you another Fibonacci to think about on the S&P 500. Okay. As if we get some pretty heavy buying coming in on this candle, which we don't have yet, right? We don't have that yet. But if they do start to climb and they're not going anywhere, we may be picking up reversals here. Right? So we've just got to be careful. It looks like the momentum of the market has shifted. Again, shifted towards the buyers. All right, so we need these guys and girls, these NASDAQ boys and girls out there. We need them to push heavily above the 76s. Andy Tweedow, you've exceeded your goal by 1,600 ticks. You need to go and do something else. I'm so excited for you. If your daily goal is X and you're over your daily goal, guys, that's the time. And I don't want to sound like it, the fun police, but that is the time where you say enough's enough. I'm going to be mature. I'm not missing out on any trades. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll do the same thing again. Now, guys, I'm already at my KPI, all right? So I can tell you categorically, I can now focus on you and your profit because I'm happy with what I've earned today. I'm bopping along. Okay, now let's watch these NASDAQ traders, guys, because they're starting to burn volume. They're starting to burn. They've got about 60 to go. This looks a lot like a dual 76 fib failure on both American markets at the same time. NASDAQ is failing before the S&P. Might be careful here, guys, because we're cruising into the last 90 seconds. We do, for those that are being careful, we're 45 minutes in as well, guys. So 45 minutes into the session, we're probably waiting for the candle to close. An exception to that, guys, would be if the NASDAQ pushes up, tags the 90%, and you're selling under the 76s. Promise me, guys and girls, if you're selling under the 76s, it hasn't picked up that order yet. All right, you're looking at a 10-tick risk control point. Okay, now we have not picked up the short orders yet. They're starting to burn volume, but the S&P 500 is not burning volume, guys. This is why the NASDAQ is getting a little bit courageous here. let's just watch very, very closely. We don't want to. So if you're sitting short, guys, if you're sitting short underneath the 76s there, okay, you have not been picked up on this trade. Okay, you have not been picked up. You're waiting for them to push through the 76s and get slammed. Guys, at the moment, there's no slamming yet. It's probably because the S&P 500 is being a little bit recalcitrant. So I've missed the trade, guys. I missed the trade on the S&P 500 off those 76s. I'll just put that missed evil twins. All right, I'll put that on. I put that on, guys, only because when I look at my screenshots, I need to make sure that all of the moderators are doing the best job they possibly can. So I should have just switched my fibs. Okay. FDAX, you're in the last 15 minutes. You may pick up a pre-bottom reversal. If you do, you need them to sell down under the pre-bottom. They're going to pick you up long, guys. Once they've gone underneath you, they're picking up long at 997. Okay, 997. Just be really careful, Daxy. You guys you're just cruising around 19,000 now, which will be a support level. Okay. NASDAQ traders, here's the deal. Here's the deal. You guys have cruised up and failed at the 76 fibs. Now, pros and cons. You guys are currently in the middle of the 76s. I think because the S&P 500 is selling, the NASDAQ is also going to try and sell. Your volatility is 65. They should be able to sell through a 10-tick risk control point very easily. That's right. You through your 10-tick risk control point, through your first target, guys. If you have gone short on the NASDAQ, okay, please control your risk early on this one. All right. Now we've got the S&P 500. I was trying to sell down through at 76s as well. Cheeky NASDAQ traders have gone short 2 ticks under. Okay, slightly less experienced traders have gone short 4 ticks under. That line is 5 ticks under. So either way, guys, if I move it back to the 4-tick mark, you've gone through your 10-tick first target, through your 10-tick risk control point. If they fall away to 20 ticks, guys, which is that black line there, then I want to make sure that everyone is carrying no risk regardless of how strong they are. We've got to get the S&P 500 to drop as in agreement. If it doesn't, no one's got any risk on the NASDAQ. Okay, do I have anyone short on the NASDAQ? You're probably just watching what's going on at this point in time. These sellers, as if you're short under the 76s, the sellers are going to run into the Fibonacci on the dominant candle. So yeah, look at this. Mathematically, they're going to go there to the 50 fib of the dominant candle. So if you have sold the market down, guys, underneath the 76s, they've clearly gone through the first target and risk control point, and now they're moving to the 50 fib of the dominant candle, which is normally what they do. The flip side of that, guys and girls, if you haven't gone long because they closed in the evil twins, then that's okay. Sorry, short. If you haven't gone short, they've closed in the twins, brilliant. If you don't trade the last 15 minutes, which is what we're dealing with now, then also brilliant. Okay, since the year's closed over the 76, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Aaron, you did very well today, mate. You pat on the back, mate. You did absolutely brilliant. Okay, absolutely brilliant. So pivot-based reversals, Aaron, they are your poison, mate. They are your poison. You've done very, very, very well. Now, again, guys, so at the moment, for those that don't normally do what we do, we're in the last 15 minutes. This is where the index markets around the world normally get quite unpredictable, right? So you know the stats. If you trade in the last 15 minutes on the NASDAQ, your success rate normally drops by around 32%, right? 32% drop in performance. If you trade the last 15 minutes on the FDAX, you end up with just under a 70% drop in your performance, to the point at which the FDAX traders don't trade in the last 15 minutes, with the only exception, and that is a pivot-based reversal. It's the only exception in the last 15 minutes. So if there's things you can do, guys and girls, if there's things you can do to reduce the lag on your performance by 70%, you'd probably do it. Okay, now, again, the NASDAQ, guys, is highly likely to sell down here, which is what we call the gap 76 Fibonacci's. That's highly likely where they're going to go. Now, guys and girls, are there any questions at all? We are in the last 15 minutes, waiting for a signal that I can enter and exit. Speed has been on the next level today. Yeah, they're a little bit angry, mate, a little bit angry today because of, look, I think they're angry, mate, because the US reduced their interest rates yesterday, and instead of selling the indexes, everybody bought them as a sign of, isn't this positive? Isn't it positive? There was also, guys, yesterday a political poll that came out in the US by a political polling firm that's normally very, very pro-Democrat. And they said that Trump has a 6-point lead in Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania, I believe, is a key swing state, which means that if he's got a 6-point lead in a key swing state, a number of people are probably going to start to think, well, wow, if he's that far in front, we might get him as a president. What did that mean last time? Well, the NASDAQ went to record highs. So what does that mean? Well, based on the law of averages, we're probably going back to record highs again, regardless of what the Federal Reserve does with interest rates, because the Federal Reserve is now controlled by Treasury. So I think under 60 days, I did work it out today. 31 and 5 is 36 and 11. 37, 47 days to go. Nice, 47 days to go to the US election. I have a sneaking suspicion, guys, it's going to be a pretty bumpy 47 days. I just got that feeling. I think it's going to be bumpy. So, guys, we've got 10 minutes into the hour turns, or 9 minutes into the hour turns. So at this stage, no new trades. All we're doing is again, we're managing old ones. What was the record high before, Mark? That's a great question. Let me just show you. I think the record high has now been surpassed. I mean, it's now been surpassed. Okay, but let's have a look. Okay, so this one here. That's a weekly chart. Okay, let me have a look. I'll go a monthly chart. Maybe just hold on one second. If I go a monthly chart. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, oh, hang on. It's doing some thinking. I'll just see how much data it will give me. Right, all right. So how much data is it giving me? Okay, so when did Trump take office, guys? January 2020. Was it January 2020? No, that's when Biden took over. January 2020. Yeah, so that's when Biden took over. Then we obviously had a little drop, and then it turned around and just climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed. Okay, so again, Trump took over in January 16. Okay, January 16. Okay, which is here. So let me just draw on for you. All right, so that's January 16, just here. Trying to get that line. That line doesn't want to be big. That line doesn't want to be bigger. Let me get rid of snap mode. Okay, let me disable that for you. So again, that's when Trump took over. That's when Trump took over, and basically here, that's when Trump took over. That's when Biden took over. Okay, interesting point, guys. That's when the Federal Reserve, right there, that's when the Federal Reserve contradicted Trump. That's when the Federal Reserve said, no, Treasury is not taking control of us. And Trump said, yes, they are. And what happened is the market basically collapsed for about 3 months while they tried to work out who was in charge of US Treasury. So look, long story short, obviously that's Trump. That's when the Federal Reserve conflicted Trump. That's when Biden started, obviously sold down for a little while when Biden was in, then gathered some momentum and off it went. Again, so the record high was over here, and now Biden set the record high here, and now we're even higher. So the absolute record high on the NASDAQ is 21220.50. And I would suggest, guys, honestly, I think we're going back to the record high. And oh, look at this. Guys, what do we call this, guys? So this little candle here, the sellers stole the stair step on the NASDAQ monthly chart. So sellers stole the step. That means that's a ratio-based static bar reversal long. Ahmed, well done. Well done. Ash, curious. Ash, disgusting. Ash, to answer your question. So Ash has asked me a question, guys, about collateral damage. So damage of civilians, I'd say, Ash, damage of civilians while militaries are running around doing what they do. Having spent 15 years fighting with the military, may I suggest there is absolutely no excuse for collateral damage. There's no excuse for it, mate. It's just collateral damage, guys. I might piss people off when I say this, but I believe that collateral damage means that a military operation was not planned correctly. That's why you get collateral damage. Now, again, if you've been on military operations, guys, good. I've been on multiple military operations, and I never, ever once hurt someone that did not deserve to be hurt. Sounds a bit rude, but there's no such thing as collateral damage. It's just, anyway, to me, collateral damage means a poorly planned military exercise is what it means. But again, that's me, guys. That's me in a nutshell. Having been overseas multiple times on multiple tours, and I've got multiple medals, and there's no such thing as collateral damage when it's planned properly. Now, but mind you, there'll be people out there with different opinions, and that's why it is. Now, guys, we're 5 minutes until the hour turns. We're 5 minutes into the hour turns. This is why we've got to be very, very careful. Guys, very, very careful in the last 15 minutes. And I'll tell you why. The 60-minute chart traders, the bigger boys and girls, are now starting to put volume into the market. Now, what does that mean? As it means that we look for larger chart moves like 30-minute chart and 60-minute chart swing triggers. At the moment, guys, the FDAX is getting ready for a 60-minute short. It's getting ready for a 60-minute short. The NASDAQ is getting ready for a 60-minute short. No, Diane, it's not, but it was really good fun. So I'll do that later today. Cole, exactly right. You're spot on the mark. So, guys, we're looking for larger charts. Now, at the moment, the danger we've got, guys, on the American markets, we've got 30-minute swing triggers, okay, that are loading, and the 30-minute swing triggers, they've got a lot of fuel in their tank. All right. So again, let's have a look. All right. So if the 30-minute chart traders, guys, get any control, look what they're doing. Okay. So the 30-minute chart traders, guys, are going to try and push the NASDAQ up to the 133 fib extension. Okay. That's going to trigger a daily long. All right. So I would suggest they're probably going to try and go long. All right. So this is where we've got to be a little bit careful, guys. Last 15 minutes. Let me see if I've got a stair step. I do. I've got a like stair step. Nice. I've got a like stair step. So both US markets are going to try and swing long on the 30-minute charts. Now we had a long down here. I missed this one. Okay, I missed this one, but again, just for the screenshots, guys, we had an evil twins. We had an evil twins long that I missed. All right, but that's good. It's good for training, guys. Good for training the moderators. So I'll put that down there. Guys, I would suggest at this point in time for the American-based traders, they're just going to grind to the high side. Okay, so we're probably grinding. Now, this is where we start picking up really, really strong candles, like this 8-rated candle just here, guys, or that 4-rated candle just there. So that's where we start picking up the longs, and we start sitting on them for 15 minutes. Okay, so slightly more advanced way of trading. But I have a sneaking suspicion we're probably going to push up right across the board here. Okay, so they've come down to the great sell point and failed to sell. So that means the momentum is shifting. Nice. Let me just have a look at the Europeans. What are they doing? Europe doesn't agree. That's a big statement. Europe does agree. All right, so what have we got here, guys? So 1, 2, 3. We've got a swing trigger long on the FESX 15-minute chart. So all of the major indexes, guys, all of the major indexes are swinging long. because all of the major indexes are swinging long on the larger charts. Now, that doesn't guarantee they're just going to bust to the high side and run. So what we're looking for is we're looking for the hour to turn, which is going to happen in the next 53 seconds. So the hour will turn. We then wait, guys, until we start to see what they're doing inside the new hour before we place a new trade. Most FDAX traders, you are probably well and truly done for the day. Okay, probably well and truly done. Let's have a quick look here. All right, let's just wait. Let's just wait. Let's just wait. Steve, you got plus 656 in the morning and 298. What's that, mate? That's almost 1,000 ticks of profit today. Is that there's 656 and 10. Steve, that is amazing, mate. Well done. Almost 1,000 ticks of profit. That's incredible. All right, so as we're right on the hourly turn, this is where we've just got to be really, really careful that we understand that the bigger traders are coming into the market. The larger charts, guys, the larger charts say that we're going up before we go down. That may not be their reality. We'll just wait and see. Steve, that's a huge result, mate. That's a huge result. Massive, massive, massive result. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. All right, now we've got this candle here, guys. This candle here tells us that the NASDAQ buyers are running out of steam. There's no question about that. Mind you, the ratio is not low enough for us to want to short just yet. Yeah, not yet. TAR NQ50 was an extension 939. 939. Okay. So let's have a quick look. I'm just going to go to the larger charts. Okay, I'm going to go larger charts. Let me run a Fibonacci extension, guys, on the 60-minute chart. What I'm looking for, I'm going to color it green, guys. I'm going to look for a confluence between the different levels. Greg, you got 4 times 10 plus 24 times 10 on the S&P 500 long. Wait, off the R1, I trust. Wait, again, or 76s. You might have actually gone off the 76s, but the R1 is pretty obvious. So, Greg, that's a huge trade, mate. That's a huge trade. Plus 4 times 10 plus 24 times 10. That's brilliant. Now, again, guys, so turn of the hour, that's a beautiful, yep, perfect. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful selling candle. So again, the buyers may have run out of steam, right? We'll just let the market tell us what it's doing. Again, let's just find out. All right, now. Now, if I had have picked up that long, guys, on NASDAQ and S&P 500, we would have actually been sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, so I missed 2 trades. Otherwise, we would be sitting at 11 from 12 trades, as in we were expecting between 10 and 12 trades out of the session based on the lead-in volume. So I've let myself down there, guys and girls. Again, I've missed 2 trades. Mind you, some of you got the trades, which is brilliant because you've traded it very, very well, which is great. So for those that are not used to what we do, guys, with a lead-in volume of what we had today, that's a pretty high volatility lead-in. It means that we normally pick up between 10 and 12 trades. And normally that's 10 to 12 winning trades in a row. So again, there's quite a few people out there in the world that say that 100% strike rate's not possible. I'm a massive fan of high success rate, guys, because it builds a positive psychology around trading, and that's a very, very exciting thing. The delta long on the S&P 500 is tradable, Ash, 100%. If I can get the sellers on the NASDAQ failing at Fibonacci, then the delta is tradable, yes, as a reversal style delta, sorry, continuation style delta. So yes, mate, is the answer. So these sellers are selling down into the 38 fib from the best Fibonacci I can estimate. So again, there is a buying out. It's a Delta V2, guys, at 928. Now, if you trade deltas, you would be looking at what the sellers are doing right now, basically not going anywhere. You'd be looking at the S&P saying, well, these sellers aren't going anywhere. Therefore, the buying momentum is likely to shift, and it will shift relatively quickly. Now, are we going to get an efficient candle short? No, we probably won't. We probably won't. All right, let me just get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. I'm just cleaning up our charts, guys, just to make sure that we got nothing in the way that stops us from seeing what we need to see. Now, this S&P 500, guys and girls, very, very interesting candle. It's again, almost 3,000 contracts. It's 3,000 contracts times $30,000 a contract. I think that's a lot. I'm just going to do the maths on it. There's a lot of money being invested in this S&P 500, guys, and no one can sell it down. So it's 3,000 times $30,000 face value on a contract. 90 million in 5 minutes. You're right. All right, so there's $90 million, guys, in that candle there, of which the majority is actually selling, not buying. And I don't think the market agrees with that at all. All right, so we're just waiting for new signals. So it's just waiting for new signals. FDAX. You've got nothing. Oh, sorry. Did we place the order on the ES at the delta? So if you wanted to trade the delta long, and if you want to trade the delta long, the answer is yes at 52.25. Okay, 52.25. Now, the flip side of the 52.25, your risk must be below the red candle. Okay, your volatility says a 4-tick target, is highly likely. Okay, a 4-tick target is highly likely if they engage the delta, which they've just engaged it. And the flip side of that, there's no Fibonacci reason that I can see that you're not going to go long. NASDAQ, the delta that we were asking about before, again, sellers have failed to push the market down. Buyers have come back through, collected the delta long right there at 928. Guys, that's gone at least 20 ticks in your favor, which is a beautiful delta trade.
Mate, S&P 60 minutes extension long.
Thank you. Okay, so as now again, if you're long on the delta, guys, on the NASDAQ, all right, so the question was asked about that delta there, the bright green one, the delta V2. If you're long on that, guys, a 20-tick target is a stunning target. Akito's on that exact trade. There is going to be another Fibonacci here, guys and girls, which is going to screw us around a little bit. Okay, that is going to screw us around a little bit. That being said, this Fibonacci here could be sneaking, this little Fibonacci here could be sneaking in. Okay, plus 11, well done, Keith, nice work. NQ failed at a 38 hourly, opened and closed. Okay, now let me just have a look. So guys and girls, we just got to be really, really careful here, guys, because again, right on the turn of the hour, the market is normally going to turn. Now, let's just see what these guys are doing. Now, I've got traders that are long, guys, on the S&P 500 delta. It's only gone 1 tick in their favor. Okay, we may have a little problem on the S&P. Let me just watch what they're doing. Let me watch. Okay. I'm very glad you only went for a 20-tick target, guys, on the NASDAQ. Now, the flip side of that, guys, let me just watch what these guys are doing. For the S&P traders, you may be about to pick up a reversal short. Okay, now, what does that mean? So how are we going to deal with this trade at the moment? I'm going to wait 1 minute and 16 seconds. And effectively, they should not be stalling here, guys. They should not be stalling here. Now, again, if they do stall, we will deal with it as we do. So there's this one. Are they trading that one there? That's the Fibonacci they're trading. Okay, all right. So they're using it, guys. They're using a dominant candle Fibonacci. So that is the Fibonacci they're using as opposed to the one we had before. What does it mean, guys? What does it mean? If we load a static bar reversal short on the S&P 500, so if we do load a static bar reversal short, FDAX, you've got nothing. Let's just see what they do, guys, because we've got to load the counter signal first. And if we load the counter signal, then we're going to deal with the trade. Right? So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to wait for the candle to close, which is 18 seconds from now. We are then going to determine, is it a valid static bar reversal short? Okay, so we'll give them a little bit of time. Where's my 15-minute chart? Okay. So we are going to pick up an SBR, guys. So it is a static bar reversal short. So what I want you to do, guys, is if you're long on the S&P 500, okay, if you're long on the S&P, I want you at this point in time, guys, I want you to bring your stop loss basically up level with the bottom of this static bar reversal. Okay, now what we're looking for, guys, so all my eyes at the moment, guys, are on S&P. What I'm looking for is these buyers to push through the turning bar 50 and the turning bar 76. So if you are long on the delta, guys, you can actually slowly bring your stop loss up this candle with the intent of reducing the risk on the trade. All right, so what we're doing is we're reducing our risk on the trade. Okay, for those that are not long on the delta, you're sitting a sell order here at 5749. Now, guys, here's the ultimate test for the S&P. So see this 76 fib here? I would start moving my stop loss up. You guys are back into profit again. So again, please bring your stop loss even further. Please break to the high side, S&P. Please, please, please. Everybody, guys, on the S&P is bringing their stop loss through, guys, to around about, say, -4. You're now at 3 ticks worth of profit. You could bring your stop loss to break even and neutralize the risk on the trade completely, as if you want to. I'm using a defensive Fibonacci, guys, in order to try and talk you through this trade. So if you've brought your stop to break even, you can't lose any money, guys. If you brought your stop to break even, you can't lose any money. Flip side is we've got a counter signal against us. The counter signal has failed to trigger, allowing us to manage the risk on the trade and basically get out at break even or slight positive. Wes, well done, guys. That is a counter signal drill using defensive Fibonacci. Very, very rarely do I have to do that in this trading room, but you've just seen it live. That's a counter signal defensive Fibonacci drill, guys. It's in the 101 course. Just for shits and giggles. If you didn't know that, it's an army expression. Now, some of you may have moved your stop loss through to -4, guys, and said, you know what, Lockie, I'm going to stay with the trade. You might have bought your stop, you might have bought your target down to +2 and said, Lockie, I'll just get out at +2. The most important thing, guys, the most important thing you've done is made a decision about your trade. You haven't sat there and got petrified. You're like, oh, crap, I've got a counter signal against my trade. I'm now going to use defensive Fibonacci. I'm now going to use defensive Fibonacci and I'm going to neutralize my risk on the trade. Now, guys, if it runs and it does that, you didn't lose any money. So you come back and you say, righto, I didn't lose any money on the trade. Well done. I'm now looking for the next trade and we'll go and make some profit. It's all good. Petros, hello, mate. How are you? Had a phenomenal night. Could we possibly chat? It won't be today, Petros. It won't be today, only because I'm basically booked from now until about 9 p.m. Japan time, but tomorrow is better. Yeah, so tomorrow's better. Like, tomorrow's better for me. I'm heavily booked today. Mind you, I've got to say, one of those bookings is with a 3-year-old girl called Ivy who wants to sing to me again. So I've promised that I would give her time. I promised I'd give her time. Louis, you got 52 times 5 contracts on the S&P 500. Mate, that is phenomenal, mate. That is phenomenal. Dave, you got 78 times 2 on NASDAQ off the 38 15-minute chart. Well done. Wow, you guys are doing so well. This is fantastic. Guys, they're big trades. Guys, for those that are watching, again, I'll do the maths on Louis' trade because he's really good at what he does. So what did you do, mate? Call it 50. So 50 times 5, guys, times $12.50 US. All right, for those watching. That's US dollars, right? So you can do the maths on that, convert that to your local currency. Suffice to say, that is a very, very good trade, Louis. You've done really, really well, man. Again, well done. Guys, let's just keep going. Let's keep chipping away, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, to put that in perspective, Louis been trading now, Louis, for 10 years. Is it about 10 years? I think it's about 10. I'm just trying to do a math. Probably about 10. 10. Louis, you based in Melbourne? No, Ash, he's not based in Melbourne. He's been hidden in Queensland, so no one can find him. I'm joking. Louis and I, guys, when I move back to Australia, will be living in a very, very similar postcode. Just to tease. Yeah, no, it's about 10 years, man. I have to double it. It's maybe 9.5. Of Petros. Melbourne is nicer. Like, Melbourne is good for coffee, and 4 seasons in one day, mate. 4 seasons in one day. I've had some very interesting trips to Melbourne, guys, where it was really hot in the morning and like bolt cold in the afternoon. It was amazing. No, of course it's not boring. Of course. So, guys, I had a little chat to Louis today, guys, just, catching up with the world and what's going on and similar things. As I said, guys, I'm going to put together a webinar series, guys, in November. Guys, it's basically a month of masterclasses. I am going to interview a number of very, very good traders, guys, and as part of that masterclass series. And again, guys, the really good thing to do is ask questions of these really good traders. How long have you been trading for? What are you expecting to do here? What are you expecting to do there? I'm expecting these markets, FDAX, holy moly. FDAX has just sent up a dual R176 reversal off a pivot. That's my favorite trade. And I was doing Fibonacci on the NASDAQ, making sure the NASDAQ traders weren't going long by accident. Absolutely, Cole. Well done, mate. You've taken a plus 20 on NASDAQ. Well done, guys. I've literally missed the trade on FDAX. That is my favorite. What did I say to you guys at the start, guys? I said at the start, Delta's fine on S&P. I said at the start, my next trade will be a reversal off a pivot inside the new hour. And guess what? We're inside the new hour. There's a reversal off the pivot. It's already gone way over my profit targets. The cost of moderating. Matt, oh, fancy that, man. Fancy that. It's a reload. It's a reload of the signal, guys, over here on the left-hand side. It's a reload of the static bar reversal from earlier. So the market always returns to its failure point and then runs. It just does it over and over and over and over and over again. It's actually really quite exciting. Okay, and guys, again, so these guys have bought up, failed at the 76 fibs. If I got a higher high over here on the left-hand side, I would have sent all of the junior traders short underneath the 76s. We didn't get the higher high, so therefore the senior traders are the only ones that have used that, guys, as a DFR short, double failure reversal. They've gone short, and it's just pounded targets again. Now, I did want to get to 12 trades today, guys. I did want to get to 12 trades. I've missed 2. Otherwise, we'd now be at 14. No pressure from the trading pit, of course. There's no pressure. Arlen, guys, I know she's sitting there in the background going, Lockie, you've missed 4 trades. You're a shocker. So she might be saying that, or she might not be saying that. I hope not. I hope not, guys. I'm doing my best. As you can probably imagine, there's a fair bit going on right now. Mark has never been called a senior trader before. But there you go, mate. There's a new title. So what have we got, guys? We've got NASDAQ again sending down off those 76s, which is brilliant. The S&P 500, guys, has got to a shadow of yesterday's high. And again, it started producing selling deltas. The delta typically, what's your volatility? 16. The delta will typically pay a 4-tick target very, very easily. Very, very easily. As for the S&P, if you're short on the delta, I said before, the delta's good at 51.50. You can expect it to fall through, guys. It should fall through 50.50. It's kissed it. So it's kissed the target a number of times, but we're waiting for that collapse, which will probably occur towards the end of the candle. Long time, and I didn't consider my Cole, you're lovely, right? Cole is lovely, guys, lovely person. There's a lot of guys, there's a lot of traders out there in the world, in my humble opinion, if I can. They're really, really lovely people. And all they want to do is earn $200 to $300 a day. They start with $100 a day, then becomes 200, 300, 400, 500. All they want to do, guys, all they want to do is earn, say, $300 or $400 a day, so they can then get on with the job of being really lovely people. That's it. That's all they want to do. Petros, 57 years old, mate. You're a spring chicken, mate. You're a spring chicken. I'm chasing you quickly, mate. So there's nothing wrong with 57. No, don't worry about 57. All right, now, guys, I've missed a stunning FTX trade. That's exactly the trade I was looking for. Some of you have got it, which is exciting. Some of you picked up the NASDAQ off the 76s, which is brilliant. That S&P, guys, will take up to 15 minutes to mature. So it's like a fine wine. The flip side of that, sellers are very, very strong on S&P. So again, there's no reason why. Guys, they're not going to tinker down. Volatility is okay. Volume's good. FTX, so S&P just dropped through your 4-tick target. So I told you guys that was going to be a long duration trade, that one, but you threw your target. What have you done, Ahmed? 215 ticks on NASDAQ in total for tonight, mate. That's over 1,000 US. So Ahmed, how good, guys, how good's that? How good's that? Ahmed was not doing 1,000 US 2 to 3 months ago, and he's just done 1,000 US. So Ahmed, mate, I'm very excited for you. Flip side, guys, can everyone say well done, Petros? Petros. Oh, Ahmed, I just got you mixed up with Petros. Oh, I think I'm in trouble now, but guys, well, well done to Ahmed. Guys, $1,000 US a day. That is bloody amazing, mate. So well done. That's brilliant. All right. S&P 500 traders, if you're short on the delta at 51.50, target is 50.50. You've just gone through your target, so well done. You've been paid on that one. A little bit of a slow burn. You can say well done to me, Petros. Well done to me. No, mate. Petros, well done to you too, mate. How have you done today? Ash, you've done 4. Well done. Petros, how have you gone today? Just so I don't feel like I'm picking on Petros. Can you tell me why we could take the delta? Right, we take the delta on the S&P 500 because the sellers were stronger on this candle. So territory to volume wise, the sellers were stronger on the candle when the delta formed than they were on the previous candle. So at one point in time, the candle was the same size, right? So the candle was the same size as the previous candle. So the body of the candle was the same size on about half the volume, which means the weight of trading in the market based on territory to volume ratio, sounds very fancy, but the weight of the market had switched to the selling. That's why the delta triggered at that point. Petros, what did you do, man, today? Sorry. So Petros, where's Petros? Oh, you got 40 on the FTX, mate. Oh, well, mate, you're a senior trader now, so you can put a badge on. 40 on the FTX is huge, mate. All right, so guys, it's amazing. All right, put it. So I'm going to send Petros, guys, a name tag from Japan with magnets on the back of it, provided he promises to wear it every time. Every time you come to the trading event, you got to put your senior trader badge on. How about that? I think that's exciting. I think it's exciting. All right, here we go, guys. Markets are getting some attitude about them, which is brilliant. You guys are awesome. Can you imagine, guys? Can you imagine trading by yourself when you can trade with other people that are like-minded and all they want to do is make as much money as they possibly can? Diane, it's horrible trading by yourself. I tried it for 2 years. It's very lonely and very boring. And what you normally end up doing is second guessing your strategy. Even though you know the strategy works, you start to second guess it. You start to doubt yourself. If you're tired, you start to do silly things. And before you know it, you're going backwards. When in actual fact, if you can log in online with a whole lot of people that are doing what you do, you're supporting each other in the journey. Guys, having traded by myself for years and having now run live trading rooms since 2009, guys, I'm at my daily KPI. The big boss is watching, but I'm at my daily goal, guys, already, and I've run the LTR. So there is no disadvantage to being in an LTR. In fact, quite the opposite. I think it's hilarious. But your demons are always whispering. Of course, Mark, the demons, the fear and greed demons are always whispering in your ear. And if you've got other people supporting you, they don't whisper as much. Now, Arlen, so Arlen's nodding, guys. That's either a hint that Lockie's got to get off the microphone, or that was no, not at all.
Well,
that's right.
I just wanted to join for a second. I love this
great
discussion that you guys are having about trading with a like-minded community. And I think generally when you keep sharing within your community, you're part of a chat, a group, whether it's friends that you have in real life or even online, this support is super, super important in every trader's journey. Whenever I'm talking with any trader from the people who are trading with us, and I'm asking them like, okay, so how does your day look like? What are the tips that you can give anyone? And they keep always saying, you keep learning every day, you keep sharing with the people that you're surrounded with, and you can always learn something new from the people around you. So it's super, super important. I love that. I really do. And I think it's the power of doing this live trading room, right? And sharing and commenting and explaining what each person is doing. I think it's a very, very powerful tool. So you're definitely on something here.
Can I put some icing on that? What I tend to find is in the game of trading, we're very, very fast to criticize ourselves if we make a mistake. We're also very, very slow to congratulate ourselves when we hit our KPI. Well done, you followed your rules, you've done the right thing. By trading in a large group that we all celebrate victories, you actually start to realize I'm on the right path and I'm actually achieving what most traders can't achieve, which is trading consistently profitable on a daily basis and slowly getting bigger over time. So I tend to find LTRs or live trading rooms, if they're run properly by people who professionally trade like I do, it's to me, it's a no-brainer. You celebrate your victories, you commiserate your losses, but then you get on with the job of getting it all back again, like what we did just on the S&P 500. We work together to neutralize risk and make as much money as we possibly can. It's a no-brainer. Well, Thomas, exactly right. Like just like today. So now, Arlen, I should have got 12 to 14 trades today for you. I've missed some. I do apologize. But at the moment, we're sitting at around 12 from 12. So anyone that says 100% strike rate is not possible, well, I mean, we did have a neutral trade. So someone would say that's a loser. But again, it was a neutral trade. And then we went and got it back with a winner. So I think, again, you can run at a really high strike rate if you're very careful and you know what you're doing. It's pretty straightforward, I think. So.
I agree. Pretty straightforward. 12 of 12 is really good. Guys, I also wanted to mention two things. First of all, sending you now in the chat, guys, we have 20% off our Prime Futures challenges. If you want, you can use that link I've sent you. We're basically having this discount until Sunday, 22nd of September. So hurry up, grab your challenges, Prime Futures, enjoy. And second of all, what do you guys think about my hoodie? Do you like it? Do you like my hoodie? I'm just saying, if you guys like this hoodie, we might have a cool promotion coming up. We might have
we like hoodies.
We might have a cool promotion coming up, guys.
Well, we were just mocking about Petros's name tag, so maybe Petros is going to have to wear a TTP hoodie to show up to work with his name tag. How about that?
Interesting thought, guys. I'm open for suggestions. If you want to do name tags, let's do name tags.
I love it. That's brilliant.
Coolio. So, I mean, from my side, we're good to go. I appreciate it again. Douro Academy, Lachlan, thank you so much for doing this, for having the live trading room, for supporting the whole team, whether it's here on Zoom, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, where we're streaming. So thank you so much again from the Trading Pit, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, so guys, next Thursday we'll be back again for the TTP, doing what we do. Today, guys, lessons I think for today, lessons for today would be, again, let the market do the heavy lifting, let the market generate the signals for you, control your risk quickly, let your profits run. That sell we picked up on NASDAQ, we ended up with a risk to reward ratio as it was 96 times in our favor. Most people get excited by 1 to 1. Suffice to say, we'll just come back tomorrow, do it all again. And for TTP, Arlen, we'll do it next Thursday, same time, same bat channel, same strategy, same markets. We're very boring, nothing changes, but we aim to make a lot of money, and that's why we trade. So thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. Arlen, it's all yours. Thank you, TTP. Thank you, Arlen. And guys and girls, if you're in the LTR, guys, I'll see you tomorrow night. Guys, I'm taking the session tomorrow night. Cody's away on a holiday. Flip side, if you're not guys in the LTR, I'll see you next Thursday for TTP. How about that?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Bye.